The Young and the Restless, Ashley Abbott's husbands. Eileen Davidson first portrayed Ashley Abbott on The Young and the Restless in 1982. She has subsequently appeared in the role intermittently for the past 40 years. Actress Kristen Dimira from Days of Our Lives also appeared on Santa Barbara. Even on The Bold and the Beautiful, she played Ashley. Davidson is the most well-known actress to have played the part, even if others briefly filled in for her. 2018 saw her take home a Daytime Emmy for her performance, via Page 6. Dina Margarine and John Abbott had 3 children. However, it was later revealed that Brent Davis fathered one of them, Ashley, via Soap Central. For the Abbott Cosmetics family business, Ashley has been a tough entrepreneur for decades in Genoa City. Her crimes included using stolen sperm to inseminate herself and tricking her brother Jack Abbott into believing he wasn't John's kid. But she also suffered greatly as a result of her actions. Cancer, brain tumor, and miscarriage were among the physical issues that the heroine faced. She also gave birth to a stillborn kid. Additionally, Ashley has a history of mental illness and institutionalization. Her difficult past hasn't dampened her spirits. Ashley acquired business patents from her father, John, and used them to launch her own cosmetics empire in Paris, after a good relationship with her daughter Abby Newman, via Soaps in Depth. Viewers have no idea what happened to Ashley's abroad relationships, but in Genoa City, she never lacked for husbands. In 1988, she tied the knot with Stephen Lasseter. When she was placed in an institution in 1986, Ashley Abbott met her first husband, Dr. Stephen Lasseter Rod Aarons. Ashley went through a mental collapse after having an abortion. She was tormented by the sound of a baby wailing and had amnesia, via Soap Opera Digest. Dr. Lasseter saw her as Jane Doe in a mental health hospital in New York City. When she regained consciousness and could remember where they were, the doctor accompanied her back to Genoa City with them. As Stephen helped Ashley recuperate, the two built a close bond and finally fell in love and married in 1988. Stephen's job as a psychiatrist caused a lot of drama in the couple's relationship. They were stalked by one of Stephen's old patients while on their honeymoon in Hawaii, via Soap Central. She poisoned Ashley and made her unwell, resulting in her death. Ashley made a full recovery, but she didn't have much time to enjoy being a newlywed. When Stephen was murdered by an ex-patient just a few months later, his young bride was left without a husband. Ashley and Victor Newman exchanged 2 I do's. With Nikki Reed, Victor Newman had a series of escapades that led to Ashley Abbott's first pregnancy and subsequent termination, while he was still married to Nikki, via Soaps in Depth. When Nikki remarried in 1990, Victor was devastated and turned to Ashley for solace. When the two decided to get married, things didn't go as planned. After graduating from boarding school, Victor's daughter Victoria Newman, then Heather Tom, returned determined to separate her parents in order to reconcile them, via Soap Central. When Nikki began to experience the effects of drinking, Victor stepped in to provide assistance. Victor and Ashley split when Victor acknowledged that he was still in love with Nikki. Ashley snatched Victor's sperm in 2000 and used it to conceive. As a result of this, she gave birth to Abby Newman, who she claimed to be Brad Carlton's child. It would be several years before anyone discovered that Abby was in fact Victor's child, via Soaps. When they were both in France in 2009, Ashley and Victor were reunited. After returning to their home country, Ashley became pregnant again and the two were remarried. That all changed when Victor's resentful son, Adam Newman, then Michael Mooney, started torturing Ashley, resulting in her falling down the stairs and miscarrying their unborn child, via SoapHub. After that, he made her believe that the baby was still alive, and she went on to have a phantom pregnancy for several months after that. They divorced again after she overheard Victor declaring his love for Nikki again. There was a wedding ceremony between the two of them. Ashley Abbott was smitten by Abbott Cosmetics Blade Bladeson in 1993. Michael Tylo. Ashley was smitten even though he wouldn't tell her anything about himself other than that he used a stage name and had a sibling. The following year, they got married via Soap Central. Soon after, Blade was stalked by his ex-lover Mary Jo Mason, Diana Barton, whom he had dumped because she had slept with Rick Bladeson, his wicked twin brother. Despite the fact that she and Blade had a romantic history, Mary Jo moved to Genoa City and began dating Ashley's brother Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman. As a result of this, Mary Jo blackmailed Blade for the murder of his brother, Rick, who she claims witnessed him drowning. The next day, Rick showed up in town to her astonishment. Both Ashley and Jack were convinced that Blade and Mary Jo were having an affair after they were caught together, leading to the breakup of their relationships with the two characters via Soap Hub. Rick tracked Ashley and Blade down while they were on a road trip to try to mend their relationship. With her husband's new attitude, Ashley was delighted. He kidnapped his twin brother and pretended to be Blade, much to the delight of Ashley. Finally, Blade was able to make it out of there and get back to his normal life via Soap Central. Ashley didn't learn of Rick's death until after his burial, when his automobile was hit by a train and he was killed. The union she had with Cole Howard ended in divorce once more. When Cole Howard, J. Eddie Peck, arrived in Genoa City as an aspiring novelist, it was originally thought that Victor Newman's illegitimate son, Cole Howard, J. Eddie Peck, was born via Soap Central. During their time together in 1998, Ashley Abbott consented to allow him use her likeness as the basis for a fictional persona. Meanwhile, Cole's marriage to Victoria Newman had been deteriorating due to his past adultery and her lengthy absences from the family home due to her professional travel schedule. Eventually, Cole and Ashley took advantage of their mutual attraction and were caught kissing by Victoria. The divorce of Victoria and Cole was followed by Cole's proposal to Ashley. However, not long after, he learned that Victoria was expecting his child. As a result of a medical emergency, Victoria was obliged to deliver the baby earlier than planned, but soon after the birth of their newborn girl Eve, they chose to name the child Eve in honor of his mother Eve via Soaps in Depth. While Ashley and Cole's wedding went off without a hitch, she had to fly to Europe for multiple business trips shortly afterward. To get out of trouble, Ashley's half-brother Rafael Delgado, Carlos Bernard, fabricated some of Ashley's artwork, which she surreptitiously tried to repurchase in Spain. Cole, on the other hand, had been keeping tabs on her and was convinced she was cheating on him. Ashley confessed everything to Cole in Genoa City, but their relationship remained tense. With the hope of saving their relationship, Ashley began pressuring Cole to consider having a child with her. While filing for divorce at Oxford University, he was offered a post as a lecturer at the university. Brad Carlton proposed to her while she was 7 months pregnant. She took a cruise after her divorce from Cole Howard to help her heal, despite everyone's knowledge that she had snatched Victor Newman's sperm and inseminated herself. She returned pregnant via Soap Central. Carlton, Don Diamond, who had a connection with Ashley in the past, started chasing her again. He asked her out on a date and promised to take care of her child as if it were his own. As Ashley and Brad were preparing to tie the knot, she went into labor. They were married in her hospital room after Abby was born. Breast cancer was discovered in Ashley's body in 2002. Abby's paternity was discovered by Olivia and Drusilla Winters, while Brad stood by her side. They convinced Ashley to confess her husband Victor Newman was the father. Brad was enraged and eventually had an affair with Olivia as a result of her behavior. In the end, Cole and Ashley reconciled after Ashley discovered she was pregnant with his child. Soon after, Abbott Cosmetics and Newman Enterprises were embroiled in a major financial dispute. Victor, whom Ashley suspected of orchestrating the coup, was on his way to face her when she was involved in a vehicle accident. When they arrived at the hospital, they discovered that her infant son Robert had died via soaps in depth. Ashley had yet another breakdown as a result of her sadness over the loss of yet another child and the realization that she would no longer be able to conceive. Afterwards, she told Victor that Abby was her child, and he made an attempt at developing a relationship with her. Unsanely, Ashley sought a divorce from Brad and announced her love for Victor, who was already married. Tucker McCall, her husband, and their wedding were kept a secret. During a hostile takeover of Abbott Cosmetics in 2009, Tucker McCall abruptly nominated Ashley Abbott as its CEO's Stephen Nichols. She grudgingly agreed to take the position and began spending time with Tucker. They ended up having sex and began dating via soaps. He was soon caught cheating on her with Diane Jenkins, then Maura West, but no one believed Abby Newman, then M. Rylan. Afterwards, Tucker proposed to Ashley. Even though Abby's plan to prove to her mother that Tucker was an adulterer failed, she devised one the night before the wedding. Abby accidentally ran Tucker over when she got into a car with her mother, who was unaware that she was intoxicated, via soap hub. In trying to protect her kid, Ashley took the responsibility for the accident. In the end, Tucker recovered from his coma and realized who was driving, but Ashley was able to persuade him otherwise. When he discovered that his mother had fired Ashley while he was unconscious, he secretly married her in his hospital bed so that she could run the business while he recovered from his injuries via Soap Central. After a few months, when everyone was aware of their covert union, the couple decided to have a formal ceremony. This time, though, they were joined by members of their social network. Tucker's unethical business tactics, on the other hand, didn't take long to sour their connection. As soon as Tucker cheated on her for the second time, Ashley decided to file for divorce.